Okay. Now, this in this area where we are, we will view the willow tree. Let's get out if you don't mind. Okay? And this area, this is we'll see the willow tree. Well, some years ago, I'm told that there was a willow tree in this area. Now, where the willow tree is located today isn't the exact spot where it was during the 1919. Okay, but in Mark's simulation, because at that willow tree there were many bodies buried during the 1919 massacre. So as a result, we have placed a willow tree in memory of all of those who, and we don't know their names, but they are buried somewhere in this area. And so as we come over, and from time to time we have various functions, and we just sort of memorialize those persons who lie in the earth. That's the story. And I'm told that during the years, people would pass here respectfully and past the willow tree going to the school. And but lightning struck it, fire destroyed it. And again, we placed another tree in memorial, memorizing all of those souls who were lost. I said lost, who died during that time. Okay. And excuse me.
Sorry. Can you tell us a little bit about how do you know why the willow tree should be placed here? Does someone tell everyone?
Yes. My wife's grandfather was actually a part of the riot. Okay. His name was Pink Brandon. Um, in fact, he they got him, and he was held up in the Elaine High School. And I'm doing exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. I'm giving an interview, but and it was he who helped bury those bodies. Okay, and so this was firsthand information. During the night, he would sit and he would talk about that. And of course, he was on death row a couple different times, but he survived. He survived. Thank God he survived. Okay.
And did he ever tell you? So he was in high school when this happened, right?
No. Now this happened 1919.
19.
Okay. I was born 1937.
Oh, so he was. Okay. So when
He was an old man. He was a man, grown man during 1919.
Okay. And then why was he involved in burying the bodies?
Well, they just chose him.
Oh,
They just chose him to do it, and cause and I use the word compel.
okay.
They compel him to do that. He didn't have a choice. Yeah, and that's better than death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And who
yeah.
was they?
Those who well, the soldiers. The governor sent soldiers in here. If you know the history of Elaine, and so he was just one of those. He was. I don't know. There was two of them, but I don't recall the name of the other person who helped him.
Oh, so it was
Yeah.
only two people burying.
No. Who did the process of burying?
Oh,
But there are many bodies. There are many bodies that are out there.
okay.
Yeah.
Does he remember who the other person was?
No. I don't recall the name.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me. He didn't tell me that. He just said that they did it. But as far as a time frame, there wasn't a time frame. No.
And were stories of this massacre repeated within the black community, or was it well known within the
Taboo. Taboo. Fear is a powerful weapon. Okay? And even today, those descendants of the people from 1919 basically just will not talk about it. Okay? But I talk about it. In fact, my wife and I shared this story, this incident with all of our children. They know about it. And the reason why, I want them to know about history. Absolutely. And so all of them know about it. Now, whether they pass it on to their children or not, hopefully they will. But it's important to know history. Because, it's great because maybe you won't make the same mistakes you made prior, Yeah.
And besides this willow tree, are there any other memorials of the massacre within the community?
No. That's the only one. That's the only one. However, there's a monument being built over in Helena. Maybe you've been told about that. And I'm highly opposed to it. And because I have talked face to face to those who are financing it. And I've told them it's foolish. It's foolish. If it happened here, it should have been built here. Okay? And simply, I put it on a simple state. I said, and I asked a question. I said, if it were a flood coming to Elaine tomorrow, and you're going to do sandbags, would you go to Snow Lake and put up a bunch of sandbags? And they said, no. I said, why? That's foolish. And that's why I said it's foolish for the monument, but they have the money, okay? And so I guess they can put it where they want to put it. But don't put it there saying they're putting it there representing what happened to Elaine, because that isn't so. That isn't so. It actually happened in this area. So when those who come to visit Helena and they read in memory of Elaine, okay, where is Elaine? That's the next question. So we need to go to Elaine and see where this actually happened. So that's why it should be here. Okay.
And what is their reasoning for placing it not here?
All right. Let me tell you what a person told me. And now, the people who are sponsoring this said that the black leaders of Helena agree with it being placed there. Well, when talking to one of those they were talking about, they said Elaine doesn't have an eating place. I said, how foolish! If it's that important, then I will finance a place to eat in Elaine. But it isn't about food. It's about the lives that were lost here, and it's still painful. It's still painful. I wasn't there, but just listening to my wife's grandfather tell us about it, man, you could hear the shots being fired. You could hear the cries of the women and children. It's branded in me. I can hear it. Our land is crying out because of the blood that was shed here. Amen. And our land needs to be purged. It really does need to be purged. Some years ago, one of the ladies who worked in the school system with my wife said, I would like to see Elaine come together and just join hands and just cry out to God about the past. Well, she passed away without that actually happening. Okay? But it's still here. It's still here. And it still needs to happen. Um, I mean, it's as if I were there. Really and truly. It's as if I were there. Any more questions?
Before we keep going, do you mind if we walk over to the site? Let's do
Come
that
on,
so we
come,
can look
yeah,
at the tree.
yeah, come.
So who ended up planting this tree specifically?
The forestry department, at our request.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they planted. We had a ceremony in which we had various ones who came and spoke, and I was one of those who spoke that particular day, and it was dedicated. And we noticed on the tree there's a tag. I really would like for you to get a shot of that. But this is the willow tree. Just as a memorial. This is in this area where so many lie. I don't know if you can get the writing or not.
This is hard to see.
Yeah, it's in memory of those who lost during the 1919 Elaine massacre.
I think I got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And as we're standing next to the tree, what feelings are coming up for you?
Well, it's just, you know, I'm an emotional person. Um, and as I first stated, I love people. Um, but I think about those persons who lie here, who died for a cause, not a radical cause, but a cause because they want to uh, elevate their their lifestyles. They wanted the good things in life, for themselves and their families. And as a result, they lost their lives, you know. And so I feel their pain. I do. I feel it. I feel it. And all you've got to do is let yourself go, and you feel it. Yeah,
I have another question.
yeah. Okay.
So this tree looks very new. When was it planted?
Oh, approximately 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago.
And when was the original tree struck down?
Oh, wow. That's been some years ago. I don't know how many years, you know. But like I said, it was actually it was over in that area. But lightning struck it and it burned.
So there seems to be a really long time between when the tree was struck
Yes,
down and when this tree was put in.
yes. It has been a long
Can you
time.
speak to why it took so long?
Well, just no one really took the initiative. Okay. But Dr. Olson has really been instrumental in a lot of things, justice wise, I'm talking about. And she knew the right people to talk to. And there are those who will adhere to what she says because it's a good thing, you know. And we need to remember, just as we remember things in our past, you know, it's just great to put this here, and yet we can't put names, but their souls, no, their bodies, because the souls have gone back to God, but their bodies, and you just have to feel the impact of it. You can't help it, even if you tried not to. You just feel it. You feel it.
And do we know exactly where they were buried?
Precisely, we don't know, but we do know it was it was somewhere between the highway and, at one time this was a railroad, okay, but it's a, see where the truck is it was somewhere in that area. Yeah.
And I don't see any like marker.
No.
Or
No, that was never, that was never a marker. That was never a marker.
are there any
Never
plans
marker.
to put one in?
I don't know whether this will be it, because you know it says in memory of those. So this is probably all that will be here. I don't know. I don't know.
Is that what would you like to have?
I would love to see a monument. Uh, I won't say something like what they're putting in Helena, but at least something that stands out, even if you were passing through. If this is the first time when you were in this area, something to strike you to say, "Hey, wonder what that's about." You know, this is the type whatever I would like to see in this area. I don't know what it would cost. Uh, I don't know where the financing would come, but this is what I would love to see. And yet you might talk to someone else and they might say, I want to see something else, you know. But some type of, not necessarily a tombstone, but some type of monument that says this actually happened. And even though there are those who say it didn't happen, they're naive. You know, it happened. It happened.
And when this tree was planted a few months ago, did it bring back these stories, and were people in the community more aware of everything that happened here?
Yeah,
What was the reaction like in the community?
yeah. I mean, we had a large crowd of people here that particular day. Actually, people who didn't live here came for this, you know, but they were moved by this, you know, because there were human lives that were lost, you know. Um, I'm moved by what happened in Boston, El Paso, Ohio. These are lives, yeah, in the very schools. Uh, you just have to feel, you have to feel the pain of others, okay? My family and I just was in court. I had a grandson who was killed, struck down, being a peacemaker. He was killed. And for 4 years, for 4 years, we waited for this man to come to trial. And when he finally came to trial, and because no one, and all of those who were here from Elaine saw precisely what happened, they refused to speak out because of fear. Okay? But we did finally get two people who would come and testify. And the judge gave him 10 years. And he raised 5 of those. Okay? And if you had seen the graphics, what they showed that day, In fact, he just had to turn out court. Said, I want the jurors to just go out. I need to talk to the family. No joke. Well, anyway, but so you have to feel for others. You have to feel for others. Prayerfully, you will never be in that position.
Have you noticed that in recent years people are talking about this kind of stuff more?
No,
No?
no, 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 no. Uh, they again. I want to say they knew it happened, but they're sort of naive, and they won't open up. Now you aren't going to get very many interviews, even though the city know you're supposed to be here today or yesterday. I think it came yesterday, right? But you aren't going to get a lot of interviews because, again, they're still afraid for some reason. Well, that's history. That's history. And we can't do anything about history, okay? We can do something about today and possibly tomorrow. But what happened back there happened. And even though we're sad about it, let me show you something. Let me show you something. You notice, you see all of this. This is a history, supposedly a history of Elaine. This was done by a team from, I believe, the University of Arkansas in Little Rock. And I had an opportunity to meet with them when they were getting this done. They were just laying the groundwork. And I told them the history of Elaine isn't complete until the history of Elaine is told. Okay? But notice your pictures. Notice them. Notice them. Now, let me ask you a question. What's missing? That's right. So this isn't history. This isn't history. This is what they want people to know about. Okay? In fact, this little place right here, at one time, I was working as a stalker when I got out of high school at the place right over there. Man, it's different now. It was a wooden store then, but it burned. The man who was over this was named Straffa. I was sent from that particular business over here to pick up some freight. And tell me the one thing I did wrong. I'm asking you a question. What did I do wrong? What do you think I did wrong? Excuse me?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Use your imagination. What did I do wrong? Okay, I'll tell you.
You assumed that they knew you were going to pick it up?
Well, he knew it because the name of, it was there. But I didn't go through that door. I went through that door. Okay? During that day, we didn't use front entrances to houses on the south end of town. And this particular business, even though it was being funded by the government, but it was being run by a local, I won't say bigot, okay? So he ran it according to his sentiments. This wasn't his, I fold it up. This wasn't his guidelines that says black people use the back door or side door and all Caucasian or white people use the front door. It wasn't written. So where did that come from? But I used that door and came in and asked for the package. And I thought I was going to have to fight him. He said, you don't use this door. And I won't say the name who used that door. You just use your imagination. Okay? So, now, I'm in the building, so how come he can't do business? So guess what I had to do? Who knows? Oh, yeah. I had to leave out of this area, come to this area, and pick up the same package that I could have gotten right over there. And this is how this town was run. Okay? So this is partial history. It isn't history. Amen. Okay. I don't know what your time period, so yeah, okay. But anyway, I just want to show you that. So this is what the willow tree is about. Okay? The willow tree isn't here, even though they have a lot of logs there. But it isn't anything to memorialize those bodies that are buried over here. Okay. So if Samuel Proctor doesn't tell it, okay. All right. Okay, I'm through.